Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shelby Monet. If you were returning, hey girl, hey, how you been? How you doing? How your mama, cousin, sister, and them? Good, I hope. So in today's video, I just want to do a little bit of a catch up plus my TBR for the month of March. I kind of dropped the ball in February with my reading. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about my plans for my reading for March and how I plan to change it up compared to February. So if you'd like to hear it, here it go. So February was a long month, even though it is the shortest month of the year. I didn't read as much as I wanted to at all. I will do a February wrap-up video, so you guys will see that soon after you see this video. But life happens. I was working overtime for work for like 2 weeks straight. I decided to rearrange my room. That's why you guys see this new setup, new background. I got a new bookshelf, organized that. I'm waiting on another bookshelf to come. So it's just been a lot going on, and I didn't read as much as I wanted to. So March, I want to change that because I read for my mental health. When I read more, I feel better. So I need to put an emphasis on that more, and stop just kind of letting the things that I do for my mental health just fall to the wayside. So some things that I want to implement in March. One, I told you guys about the Bookly app, and I absolutely love the Bookly app, but much like anything else, if you don't use it, it's not going to work for you. So when I'm not using the Bookly app, it's not helping me any. So the month of March, I need to be using my Bookly app every single day, every day, even on weekends. I need to be using it. Another thing is I want to read every day in March. I am not the kind of girl that like gets in the bed and goes right to sleep. Excuse me. I am more of a get in the bed, turn the TV on and put something on the TV, but pick the phone up and put something on the phone like the TikTok or scrolling through Instagram, and then be coloring on my iPad. Like I be doing a whole bunch, and I could be spending some of that time reading. Like I still do enjoy watching TV. I still do enjoy scrolling through TikTok, my coloring and all of that, but I need to make time for reading. So that's very important. Those two things kind of go hand in hand, me using my Bookly app and me reading every day. So those are two things that I want to do in March. The last thing is how do I word this? I have a hard time not finishing a book, even if I don't like it. And there are two instances when this can happen. Either I pick a book like on my TBR or something like that, and I'm just not enjoying it, and then I feel really bad when I don't finish it. Or I'll read something that I really, 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 really enjoy, and I have a hard time picking a book after that. So rule that I'm going to set for myself for the month of March, and then we'll see how it goes for the rest of the year, is if I can't make it through the first 50 pages of the book, I am not going to finish it. I'm also not going to finish books that I feel are too heavy, that are like draining me mentally or anything like that. So first 50 pages, if I'm not intrigued by then that's it. We're not going to do it, and I'm just going to pick something else. Because I have an ample amount of books that I want to read, that I could read if I just took the time to be like, you know what, this book is not for me. Let me move on to something else. And the book not being for me could simply just be, it's not for me right now. Does that make sense? It could be for future Shelby. It could be for me in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a few years. Just, I'm not going to waste my time because there's other things that I could be reading that could go towards my reading goal for the year, or just, you know, I could be reading something else that I'm enjoying instead of forcing myself to read something that I know that I'm not enjoying, which elongates my reading time. So those are the 3 things that I want to incorporate for the month of March. I'm sorry, Baby Yoda is leaning like he, you know, had him a little drink or something. So just to recap, so we know what we're doing for the month of March. Using the Bookly app every day, reading every day, and if I can't make it through the first 50 pages of the book, we just gonna pick something else. Sound good? Okay, cool. So you guys know that I live for some sort of theme. Like February, we did all the authors on my TBR were African American, Black, and the month of March is Women's History Month. So of course, all of my authors are women, which I am super excited about. I don't always put an emphasis on reading women's work. I kind of just gravitate towards it anyway. So I'm super excited to be reading. It was actually really easy to pick female authors off of my bookshelf. So I'm super excited about it. So let's get started. So the first book that we are going to talk about is No Heaven for Good Boys by Keisha Bush. This is her debut, I believe, and this is the book club pick for Shelby in the Book Club. So if you don't know, if you are new here, I am the host of Shelby in the Book Club, which is a online based book club that you can find on Instagram. You can follow us. You don't have to sign up to participate. You don't have to do any, there is no shenanigans. All you have to do is get yourself a book and participate in our IG lives when we have them. That is it, and that is all. So it's super simple. So No Heaven for Good Boys is supposed to be like a modern day Oliver Twist story that takes place in Senegal. And it is about a boy and his friend and like how they survive in the town that they live in. I don't like knowing a whole lot about the books that I'm gonna read because sometimes I talk myself out of reading them. So when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this sounds super good, and it's by a Black woman, so that's all I really needed to know. It fit with the theme for the month, so we're all good. Next, we have The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives. This just sounded so good. So I read a few different books by African authors. Just to name a few off the top of my head, The Girl is a Body of Water was January's book pick. I also read The Death of Vivek Oji, which I loved a whole lot. And those are just 2 that kind of pop into my head right away. So this takes place in Africa and Nigeria, to be specific. And Baba Segi gets another wife who tells a secret, and it like causes some issues in the household. So I thought that was pretty good. It sounded pretty good, so I want to read that. Next, we have Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I've heard amazing things about this book. I believe this is her memoir, I believe, and it talks about her life. Everyone that I know that has read this book has absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited to read it. Next, we have Just As I Am by Cicely Tyson. So this was on my TBR for February. And as you guys know I can be hard on myself sometimes for reading, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. Life happens. I understand that. But where I get like annoyed with myself is when I'm doing other things when I could be reading. Excuse me. So this kind of made it over to March, Women's History Month. And then I was kind of sad about her passing, so I didn't want to read the book while I was sad about her passing. So this made it over. I'm super excited to read this. This will probably be the first thing that I read for the month of March. Next, we have Aftershocks by Nadia Owusu. This is a memoir. It talks about her life. She lost both her parents at a young age, and it just kind of goes through her life. It sounded really interesting, and I love to read memoirs. I don't read them as often anymore, but they are one of my favorite genres because I love to read about other people's lives. I want to hear about their experiences. There's a very ghetto meme that's out there. And ghetto, I mean lightly, but you'll understand what I'm saying when I tell you the quote. But the meme goes like, I want to know what made your cousin a hoe. That's what I want to know, all of the things. Okay? I want to know all of the things. It sounded like something fell out there. My mom ain't making no noise, so she must be right. But yeah, I want to know all of the things. That's why I like reading memoirs. I want to know about people. I want to know what makes them them. I want to know their version of their own story, because sometimes it's so easy to look at someone and to hear them talk about their lives and be like, it wasn't that bad. But you don't know other people's experiences. You don't know how they feel, how they perceive things. So it's always interesting for me to hear about other people's lives, their perception of how they experience things, so on and so forth. So I'm really interested in reading this. Next, we have The Push by Ashley Audrain. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this is a psychological drama about a family and about motherhood. It seems like when I read the synopsis for it, it seems like it talks a bit about postpartum depression, and what that's like for women. And that's not something that I've seen in books or kind of talked about often at all. So I'm really interested in reading this, because although I don't have anybody's kids outside of my dog, I know that being a woman in general is difficult. So the trauma of giving birth and being pregnant and growing this little human in your body is one thing, and then having to like raise it and bring it home and to do all of these things, like try to be the woman that you were and help a new being be a thing and live and breathe, and all of that is such an amazing thing. So I'm curious to read about it because it's just not stuff that's talked about often. So I'm curious. I've heard good things about it. The Push actually is the book club pick for my Patreon book club. So if you did not know, I do have a Patreon. The link will be in the underneath bar. And my Patreon people, they get to pick which book. So I give them options every month. They pick, and then we have a Zoom call where we sit back, chat, drink wine and snacks and stuff like that, and talk about the book that we read for the month. Did we like it? Did we not like it? All that kind of stuff. So if you'd like to join, you totally can. The link is down below. Now, there is another book that I will be reading, but I don't have a copy of it yet. I'll put a picture of it right here. It is called The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha. I don't remember her last name, but I'll put a picture of it here so that you guys can see it here or here, either or. And that is actually a group read with my auntie Fee from Strengthening Studio and a friend of hers. We put it together, and we'll be reading that and having a virtual meetup for that at the end of the month. When I get more information about that, I will post it on the Instagram page so that you guys can join along if you'd like. And that is pretty much all that I will be reading in the month of March. So with that said, if no one has told you today, I love you, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.